Hey everyone, my name is Wes, and welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. I created this original horror music to add to the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to leave your own comments, and when you're done watching, check the description if you'd like to listen to my music without the commentary. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
I work in the pro department of a home improvement company. I work the closing shift with another cashier, who I'll call Nicole. Nicole's a really kind but quite timid cashier. She's also very pretty, so she has a lot of contractors hit on her. It's usually not that worrisome, though. A few compliments, maybe a dinner invite, which she'd politely decline. I would probably ask her out as well, if it wasn't for one detail. Nicole does have a girlfriend, so being hit on by guys on a daily basis makes her rather uncomfortable. When we first met, I told her she ought to tell those guys about being gay, but...
Have you ever been in a situation where the girl liked girls and you liked the girl and wanted to ask her out? Let me know in the comments below. For me, when I was in college, there was this girl that I really liked a lot, and she was mostly into girls. There was this one guy that she didn't like, so I guess she was kind of bi. But it was definitely a difficult situation to be in. So for me, I just like doing my own thing and sticking with my own routine and doing my own thing. But let me know in the comments below if you've ever been in a situation like that.
she kept saying it wasn't any of their business, so she kept that part to herself. Nicole has become my best friend, and having another cashier there with you keeps things from getting lonely. We even cover for each other's lunch breaks. One day when I came back from lunch, Nicole started telling me about this rather creepy guy who was flirting with her. She said she politely turned him down, saying she was with someone already, and while he didn't seem happy, he did leave. I shrugged it off as nothing more than the usual horny guy and laughed it off. But later that day, the man came back. Nicole wasn't there, as she had left to help a customer find some lumber, so it was just me. He looked rather normal, probably handsome to most women, but he acted off. After looking around the area, I asked him if I could help him with anything. "I'm here to see Nicole," he told.
It's good that he's realizing that the guy is acting off, because in situations like this, you have to be aware when people are acting off so that you can take the necessary precautions. And it is weird that he came back, isn't it? I think it's a little strange.
Told me. I asked him how he knew her, and he said he had come in earlier and asked her out, to which she said yes, so he had come back in to pick her up. I told him she had left for the day, a usual lie everyone tells to cover for their friends. His smile went away as he started looking annoyed. He said he wanted to speak to Nicole and ask her out again, which contradicted what he had just told me about accepting his previous invite. I told him he could not do that, which caused him to cross his arms and ask me why not. I'm not the best liar when it comes to making up excuses on the spot.
Ho, this is getting pretty aggressive, isn't it? I mean, the guy is just making up lies right and left, and the first thing he says is that she had already accepted an invitation. This guy is really aggressive.
However, I didn't want to tell him Nicole was gay if she didn't want him to know it, so I just blurted out that Nicole was my fiancée. His annoyed look went to confusion as he asked me how someone as pretty as she is could go out with someone like me. I'm not a Jason Momoa or anything, but I don't think I'm that bad looking. I told him it didn't matter and that her and I were getting married in a couple months, so he needed to back off. He gave me a death look, but didn't say anything. After an awkward silence, he left. After Nicole had gotten back, I told her what went down. She asked me to describe him, and after I told her what he looked like, she said that was the same guy who came in before. She was a bit creeped out by what went down, but she found the fiancé excuse rather funny. She even stated she'd rather be engaged to me than go out with him, which I'm guessing was a compliment. A couple of weeks went by, and we had all but forgotten about the man at this point. But one night, after it had gotten dark, Nicole and I were getting the trash together so we could close down the registers and go home. Just then, we hear a bang at the door, causing both of us to nearly jump out of our skins. It was the guy again. He had a wild look in his eyes as he kept his face pressed against the glass. "We're closed," I tell him, but he insists he needs to come in.
This guy is so creepy. I feel like this is the kind of guy that you would find in a horror film that just can't take no for an answer. Don't you think? I mean, this guy is like a perfect character fit for a creepy stalker movie.
Nicole yells again to tell him she's not interested, and for him to go away and leave her alone. But he yells that he's not here for her. He's here for me. He then says that if he can, quote-unquote, take out her husband, then she'd be all his. Based on that, he wanted to kill me. I tell Nicole to run to the manager's office and call the police, and I'll stay here and watch him. I won't lie though, I was pretty afraid to be in that tiny little area if the guy's able to get in. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he could have had a weapon on him. Plus, the store doesn't allow us to have self-defense items on us, so I was on my own here. The guy then started ramming the sliding doors like he was crazy. The doors were rattling, and I could have sworn we're gonna come off its base. Just then, Nicole comes running back around the corner with a 2x4 in her hand, yelling that the cops are on their way. Finally, the man decided to leave. The closing manager met the officers when they came, and he took them to review the cameras. Thankfully, the man was caught and arrested, but Nicole nor I felt safe working there any longer. We're still friends and even attend the same college together, but we do have separate jobs now while we pay our way through classes. I'm glad she was there to help me with the rogue man, as I hate to imagine what he might have done to me, or worse, what he might have done to her. She says she's glad I was there for her as well, as having a guy around tends to make men like him less confident in what they might try. It was a wake-up call for me as to how dangerous it can be for some girls when an interested guy just doesn't want to take no for an answer.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy when the guy told him that he was there for him and basically threatened him just because he was the fiance. That is some crazy sick stuff right there. And again, I think that this just goes to show that there is a lot of safety in numbers, and even just having one other person there can diffuse a lot of bad situations. But I think the guy in this story is a really good guy and a good friend to this girl, even though she is gay. And I think it's really cool that he accepts her for who she is, because a lot of guys would have trouble if they were interested in the girl. They would have trouble accepting that she is gay, but I thought he had handled this situation really well. And would you have been as calm and collected in this type of situation? And honestly, I don't blame them for wanting to work at a different store after that. Like, I wouldn't want to work at the same job after that, but unfortunately these days it is really difficult to get a job. And so if you are going to look for another job, make sure you actually get another job before you just up and randomly quit, because I feel like most likely situations like this aren't all that common, but they still do happen, and you have to be careful. But I feel like after this situation was done, it probably wasn't going to escalate with the same person again. But I can definitely understand why they wouldn't feel comfortable working there. But either way, I feel that this was a good creepy stalker story, and the guy was definitely sick. But I hope you enjoyed my commentary and my music, and I will see you in the next video.